Okay, hello, good morning. So, this will be your lesson 9 for fundamentals of accounting. Okay? So, I hope na napanood niyo na yung lesson 8 na sinend ko sa inyo. And, uulitin ko sa mga nakatapos na ng lesson 1 to 5, pwede na kayong mag-prelim exam. And then, magbayad na kayo ng prelim sa inyo, yung babayaran nyo sa prelim, and mag-exam na kayo, okay? So, sa lesson 8 natin, na-discuss natin about yung accounting equation natin. So, ano ba yung accounting equation natin? Asset is equal to liabilities plus capital, di ba? So, may transaction tayo dito. Na-analyze natin yung transactions, and then nakuha natin kung paano, saan ba natin ilalagay yung mga transaction na yun, ano ba yung gagamitin natin, ano ba yung effect dun sa accounting equation, okay? So, ngayon, papag-aralan natin kung ano ba, what are the cycles, ano ba yung mga cycle of accounting. So, at the end of this lessons, you should be able to describe the nature of business transaction and give example. Number 2, identify the different types of source and accountable documents that form part in a business transaction. Number 3, explain the rules of debit and credit and apply this in the recording of business transaction. And number 4, discuss the accounting process and apply this simple business transaction. These two simple business transaction. Okay? So, ano ba yung business transaction na yan? So, business transaction, it refers to the activities and events that affect the financial position of the business. So, it refers to the day-to-day activities and events of the business that affect the financial position of the business. So, these transactions have monetary values which are recorded in the books of accounts and summarized in financial reports. So, ito yung mga transactions involving monetary values. Ayan, pag naglabas ka ng pera, nag-out ka ng pera, may cash in dyan, cash out dyan, kailangan mo siyang i-record. So, yun yung mga transactions of the business na it involves monetary value. Okay? So, what are the characteristics of a business transaction? So, a business transaction must have the following characteristics. Number 1 is it must have financial value. So, ito na yung sinasabi natin kanina, that it must have a monetary value. May perang involved dyan. It must be supported by a source document. So, ano ba yung source documents na sinasabi natin? Ito yung mga sales invoice mo, pag nakabenta ka, official receipt, pag nagre-release ka ng mga OR official receipt, cash or journal vouchers. So, number 3, it must have effect in the accounting equation. So, ano ba yung sinabi natin sa accounting equation? Asset is equal to liabilities plus capital, di ba? So, meron dyan dapat yung transaction mo, may epekto dun sa asset, and meron ding epekto dun sa either liabilities or capital. Okay? So, those are your characteristics of business transactions. Now, let's go to the nature of business transaction. Ano ba yung nature niya? Number 1, an exchange of assets or services for another form of assets or services. So, yun yung pag-aralan natin sa lesson 8 natin, na pwede siyang ipalit doon in another form of asset. Diba? Pwede mo siyang ibayad in another form of utang mo. So, pwedeng cash to supplies, pwedeng ano pa ba? Ayan, pwedeng cash to equipment. Ayan, so yun yung an exchange of assets or services for another form of assets or services. Ayan. Number 2, a promise to pay obligation between a business and one or more external parties to a business. So, sabi dito, sabi ko nga kanina, pwede mo siyang ibayad doon sa utang mo din. Number 3, a measurable internal events such as the use of assets in operations. Only in economic events resulting from past transactions are recorded on the books of accounts. So, yun yung nature of business transactions. So, these are some types of source documents. So, ano ba yung mga source documents na sinasabi natin? Like yung sales invoice mo, official receipt, ayan, yung mga voucher mo, ayan. As basis for recording of payments, yung pag nagre-record ka ng bayad nila, ayan, yung gagamitin mo is supplier's invoice and delivery receipt. So, these are documents submitted by the supplier for acknowledgement of the company as proof of delivery of goods or services. So, kapag binigyan ka ng delivery receipt, nag-issue ka, or kung nag-issue ka na ng delivery receipt, ayan, para kapag may nag-deliver sa iyo ng goods or services, diniliveran ka ng suppliers mo, ayan, i-issuehan ka ng delivery receipt or supplier's invoice. Okay? Supplier's debit and credit memo, ayan, as basis for adjustment like discounts or additional charges, change in prices. So, kapag debit memo yan, ayan, to be charged by the organization to an employee, supplier, or customer. Pag credit memo naman, this will be issued to customer to reduce the receivable for, ayan, yung discounts or kung may mga corrections dun sa price or change in price dun sa presyo or additional charges. Ayan, yung debit or credit memo. Bank checks and withdrawal slips. So, ito naman yung yung bank checks are either used to pay for purchases of goods and services. Kapag, syempre, kapag malaking amount yan, mag-i-issue ka na lang ng cheques. Alam naman, ibibigay mong cash, di ba? And then, withdraw funds from, or either mag-withdraw ka sa bangko. So, just like the check, the withdrawal slip is used in the withdrawal funds from the bank. Ayan, i-issuean mo siya ng withdrawal slip. Okay? Pambayad dun sa delivery nila. Dun sa your purchase of goods or services. Okay? Payroll summary, so this contains salaries, wages, and allowances of employees including deducted contributions for remittance to government agencies. So, ayan, may mga payment, kung may mga payment ka sa mga contribution, mandatory contributions like SSS, Pag-ibig, PhilHealth, ayan, may mga resibo yan na pwede mong gamitin para gamitin mo sa bilang isang transaction ng isang business. Ayan. Okay? As to basis to record revenues naman tayo. So, letter A, sales invoice. So, kapag nakabenta ka nga, sabi ko nga kanina, mag-i-issue ng sales invoice. So, this is also an accountable document that serve as proof for the sale of goods to customers. Ayan. Letter B is delivery receipt. This is also an accountable document that accompanies the sales invoice in the delivery of goods to customers. Ayan, delivery receipt, mag-i-issue ka ng delivery receipt mo kapag nakapag-deliver ka ng goods to your customers. Billing invoice, this is also an accountable document that serve as proof for the sale of services to customers. So, pwede mo siyang magbigay ka na lang ng bill na as a proof na nakapagbenta ka ng services mo or products mo sa customers mo. Ayan. As basis to record cash receipts. Ayan. Kapag naman nagre-record ka ng cash receipt mo, kailangan mo ng official receipt, di ba? This is also an accountable document that is issued to customer upon acceptance of payment for the sale of goods and services or the collection of receivables. So, kapag nakasingil ka ng pautang mo, bibigyan mo siya ng official receipt. Okay? Kapag nakabenta ka, bibigyan mo siya ng official receipt. Like for example, pag dito sa school, di ba, mag-i-issue kami ng, pag nagbayad kayo ng payment nyo ng tuition or miscellaneous, mag-i-issue kami ng official receipt sa inyo, di ba? Or resibo. Okay? Deposit slip, these documents serve as proof for the deposit of cash to the bank. Ayan. Nagdeposito ka. So, may deposit slip ka. May proof ka na nagdeposit ka ng cash sa bangko. Diba? Nakakita naman tayo, all of us, siguro nakakita naman na tayo ng deposit slip, ng sample ng deposit slip. Okay? Customer's debit or credit memo as basis for adjustment of sales like discounts, change in price. Ayan. Kapag may discount ka, nagbili ka ng discount or napalitan yung presyo, pwede yan. Ayan. As basis for adjustment and reconciliation. So, kailangan natin dito ng bank statement. So, this is a source for items reflected by the bank and not recorded in the organization's books. Ayan. Kapag kailangan mo ng bank statement kasi may mga items ka na hindi na reflected by the bank pero hindi na i-record dun sa book of accounts mo or book of accounts ng isang business. Statement of accounts, these documents may be coming from a supplier or customer reflecting its records for reconciliation with the organization's own or records. Ayan. Yung mga statement of accounts mo. So, ito yung mga document na galing sa supplier or customer that it records reconciliation with the organization's own records. Okay? Now, let's talk about the debit and credit accounting. So, yun yung business transaction na tinatawag natin. So, i-discuss naman natin ngayon kung ano ba yung debit and credit of accounting. Okay? In recording the business transactions, ayan, the double entry accounting method is used where it involves two accounts. Ayan. May two accounts tayo kapag nagre-record tayo ng business transactions. Ayan. May double entry of accounting method tayo ng tinatawag. So, two accounts yung i-record mo. One is debit and the other is credited. One is debited and the other is credited. So, in this way, both sides of accounting equation remain equal. So, kapag yung accounting equation natin is asset is equal to liabilities plus capital, ayan, dapat meron dun sa part ni asset and meron din either dun sa part ni liability or ni capital para yung both side of the accounting equation is maging equal. It remains equal, okay? So, under the double entry system, every business transaction is recorded in at least two accounts. Ayan, debit and credit. One will receive a debit entry, meaning the amount will be entered on the left side of the account. So, kapag left side of the account, ayan, nandun yung asset natin. Another account will receive a credit, meaning the amount will be entered on the right side of the account. Ayan. So, the initial challenge with the double entry is to know which account should be debited and which account should be credited. So, ano ba yung, ang challenge dito, ano ba yung mga account titles na based dun sa transaction ni business, ano ba yung mga account title na dapat mong i-debit? Or ano ba yung mga account title na dapat mong i-credit based dun sa transaction na binigay ng business or sa business dun sa activities ng isang business. Okay? So, this is why we have the rules of debit and credit to guide accountants and bookkeepers in the double entry system. So, may tinatawag tayong rules of debit and credit. So, dito natin malalaman yung kung ano ba yung normal balance ng isang accounts or ng isang account title. Okay? Okay, ano ba yung mga rules of debit and credit natin? So, under sa asset, lahat ng asset accounts mo, ang normal balance niya is debit. So, take note of that. The normal balance of lahat ng assets account is debit. So, kapag mag-i-increase ka dun sa transaction, kapag nag-increase yung debit side, and ayan, an increase is recorded on the debit side and a decrease is recorded on the credit side of all asset accounts. Kapag yung asset mo, normal balance niya is debit. So, kapag debit yan, normal ang dapat na i-record mo, mag-i-increase ka doon. So, an increase is recorded on the debit side. Kapag magdi-decrease ka naman, i-record mo dun sa credit side of all asset accounts. Okay? So, ang memorize lang natin, pag normal balance, ang normal balance ni asset is debit. So, dito ako mag-i-increase. Ayan. Kapag magdi-decrease ako, doon ako sa account ni credit. Okay? Yun yung memorize nyo lang para maintindihan ninyo kung ano ba yung rules of debit and credit for asset account. Okay? Pag liability naman, ang normal balance ni liability, di ba, dun sa credit. So, kapag mag-i-increase ka, dun ka sa credit. Kapag mag-decrease ka ng amount ng liability, dun ka sa debit. Kasi, ang normal balance ni liability account is credit, di ba? So, lahat ng liability accounts or account titles under liability, kapag nag-increase ka, ilagay mo siya sa debit. Kapag nag-decrease ka, ilagay mo siya sa debit. Okay? Ayan. Sa capital naman, capital or equity accounts. So, ang normal balance din nila is credit. Ayan. Kapag mag-i-increase ka ng record mo, doon ka sa credit side. And kapag mag-decrease ka ng capital mo, doon mo siya doon sa debit side of all equity accounts. Okay? And then, kapag drawing account naman yan, normal balance kasi ng drawing account is debit. So, kapag mag-i-increase ka dun sa debit side. Kapag mag-decrease ka naman dun sa credit side of all asset accounts. Ano ba yung mga drawing accounts? Ito yung mga personal drawings of the owner. Yan, yung mga personal withdrawals of the owner. Okay? So, i-memorize nyo lang yan. So, kapag asset account, ang normal balance niya is debit and kung saan ka mag-i-increase is debit side, and kapag mag-decrease ka is sa credit side. Okay, kapag liability, normal balance mo, i-memorize mo yan, credit, so mag-i-increase ako sa credit, magdi-decrease ako sa debit side. Ang normal balance naman ni capital, ang normal balance niya is credit, so mag-i-increase ako sa credit, and then magdi-decrease ako sa debit side. So, ang normal balance naman ni drawing account, so ito yun, debit, ayan, mag-i-increase ka sa debit, and then magdi-decrease ka sa credit. Okay? And number 5 is your revenue or income accounts. Ayan. Ang normal balance ng revenue is credit. Ayan. Kapag mag-i-increase ka ng amount dun sa credit side, and kapag magdi-decrease ka naman dun sa debit side. Okay? Pag expense naman, normal balance is debit, and then kapag mag-i-increase ka sa debit side, and then kapag magdi-decrease ka naman sa credit side of all expense accounts. So, may tinatawag naman tayong contra accounts. Kaya, opposite to the normal balance. Ang normal balance niya, opposite to the normal account. Ayan. Ang example natin dito is your accounts receivable. Ayan. Accounts receivable is an asset account that normally has a debit balance. Ayan. The allowance for uncollectible accounts is a contra account to the accounts receivable, and normally has a credit opposite balance. Ayan, pag diba, ang normal balance ng accounts receivable, sabi natin kanina, accounts receivable is under asset account, diba? Pag ang normal balance niya is debit. Ayan, kapag may mga uncollectible accounts tayo, that is considered a contra account, magiging credit yung normal balance niya. Okay? If the normal balance of the contra account is debit, the increase will be recorded on the debit side, and the decrease will be recorded on the credit side. Ayan. If the normal balance of the contra account is credit naman, the increase is recorded on the credit side, and the decrease is recorded on the debit side. So those are the rules of debit and credit. So i-memorize nilang yung mga normal balance nila. Basta normal balance nila, kung na-memorize nyo debit, doon kayo mag-i-increase. And then, sa credit na kayo mag-decrease. Memorize those normal balance. Kasi kakailanganin nyo yan kapag gagawa na tayo ng journal entry. Or general journal. Okay? Ayan. The debit and credit can be associated in simple terms as, ayan, kapag value received for debit, o yung value na na-receive ko is magiging debit yan. Yung value na binigay ko is for your credit or value parted with. Para mas maintindihan natin, let's do this transaction of the business, which is an internet business. So, the debit and credit. So, isa-isip natin na kapag value received, ito yung na-receive mo, i-debit mo siya. Kapag value parted with, ito yung binigay mo kapalit ng na-receive mo, i-credit mo siya. Okay? Ayan, basahin natin yung transaction. Number 1, the owner invested cash to an internet business. Ayan. Tingnan natin dito sa number 1. Sabi dito, the owner, nag-invest daw si owner ng cash to an internet business. So, ano yung na-receive ni business? Value received. Siyempre, naka-receive siya ng money. Ayan, ano yung value parted with niya? Ayan, babayaran ni owner. Siyempre, nag-invest si owner dun sa business. Okay? Ano yung na-receive niya? Pera. Na-receive ni business, pera. Ano yung value pa? Ano yung kapalit nun? Ano yung ibibigay mo? Payable to the owner. Babayaran ni owner. Okay? And then, dito sa number 2 transaction, the business purchase internet equipment in cash. So, si business daw, naka-purchase ng internet equipment pero kinash niya. Nagbayad siya ng cash. Ano yung na-receive niya? Internet equipment. Ano yung binigay niya? Money, pera, di ba? Kapalit dun sa internet equipment. Nakuha? Okay? So, number 3 naman, the business purchase computer printers on account or credit. So, si business daw nag-purchase ng computer printers pero inutang niya. So, ano yung mangyayari doon? Ano yung ni-receive ni business? Computer printers. Ano yung value binigay niya? Payable to supplier. So, mag-i-issue siya mag-i-issue si supplier ng bill na babayaran ni business. Ayan, payable to supplier. May utang siya. Ayan, may utang yung business. Kapalit dun sa computer printer na na-receive niya. Number 4, the business purchase supplies in cash. So, si business naka-purchase ng supplies na binayaran niya ng cash. So, ano yung na-receive ni business? It is the supplies. Tama? Ano yung binigay niya? Ano yung binigay niya kapalit doon? Pera, di ba? Money. Okay? Number 5, the business collected cash from the internet gamers and users. So, si business daw nakakollect ng cash sa mga users or internet gamers. So, ano yung na-receive ni business? Ayan, money. Ano yung binigay niya kapalit dun sa na-receive niyang pera? Service fee from gamers. Ayan. It is a service. Binagbigay ka ng service, nag-perform ka ng service, kapalit nun, na-receive mo ang pera. Okay? Number 6, the business paid salaries to employees. So, si business daw na kapag nagbayad ng salary sa kanyang mga empleyado. So, ano yung na-receive ni business kapalit doon sa pagbabayad ng salary sa kanyang empleyado? Ayan, na-receive niya employees services. Ayan, ano yung kapalit niya? Yung binigay niya is, syempre, money, di ba? Okay, number 7. The business paid telephone expenses. Ayan, nagbayad si business ng telephone expenses. Therefore, nagbigay siya ng money. Ano naman yung kapalit nung pera na binigay niya? So, it is your telephone bills. Siyempre, nagamit na nila yung telephone na bill, telephone na, ayan, yung services from the telephones, ayan, magbabayad na siya, di ba? Okay? Number 8, the business paid electricity bills. So, nagbayad na naman si business ng electricity bills. So, ano yung binigay niya? Money na naman, di ba? Ano yung na-receive niya? Kapalit nun, your electricity bills. Okay? Number 9, the owner withdraws cash. Ayan, si owner daw nag-withdraw ng cash. So, ano yung na-receive ni owner? Ay, ano yung binigay ng business kay owner? Ayan, money, di ba? yung binigay niya. Ano yung na-receive naman ng business? Payment of payable to the owner. Ayan, babayaran ni owner yung yung pera na withdraw niya doon sa business niya. Okay? The business paid the payable incurred in the purchase of computer printer. So, yung business daw, nagbayad ng kanyang utang sa kanyang computer printer. Ayan, ano yung binigay ni business? It is the money. Ano yung kapalit nun? Payment of payable to supplier. So, nabawasan yung utang niya. Okay? Okay, let's use the above transaction on debit and credit using the chart of accounts for service company. So, gagamitin natin yung charts of accounts na diniscuss natin in our previous discussions. I think that is lesson 7. Ayan, charts of account. Ayan, sa transaction number 1 kasi, ayan, yung value received, anong tawag doon sa pera na yon. So, that is cash. And kapag i-credit mo yon, ayan, mapupunta yan sa capital ni owner. Okay? Doon naman sa number 2, ano yung na-receive mo? It is the office equipment, diba? Office equipment na magagamit mo dun sa business. Ano yung kapalit nun? Yung binigay mo, it is the cash, diba? Binayaran mo siya ng cash. Number 3 is magbibigay ka, meron ka ulit na receive or magde-debit ka ng office equipment, and then sa credit side mo naman, kasi inutang mo naman yon, hindi mo naman binayaran. So that is your accounts payable. Okay? And also, number 4, supplies. So, naka-receive ka ng supplies, ang kapalit nun, maglalabas ka ng cash. So, mag-i-increase ka dun sa supplies mo, that is considered your asset. And then, ano yung rules natin? Kapag kapag magdi-decrease ka ng asset mo, so, doon ka sa credit. So, yung cash mo, magiging credit. Okay? Number 5 naman, nakatanggap ka ng cash. Nakatanggap ka ng money, that is your cash. And kapalit nun, or to credit, credit side mo is your service. Ang tawag doon is your service revenue. Ayan. Number 6 is salaries, wages, and benefits. So, nagbayad ka ng salaries mo. So, ang debit mo dyan, salaries, wages, and benefits, and then, naglabas ka ng cash mo, nabawasan yung cash mo, magiging credit na yan, okay? Kapag communication expense naman, ayan, nagbayad ka ng communication expense, and then, naglabas ka ng cash mo, binayaran mo siya ng cash, so that is under your credit. Kasi sabi nga natin sa rules of credit and debit, dun sa asset accounts natin, ang normal balance mo kapag mag-de-increase ka, so dun sa debit, kapag mag-de-decrease ka dun sa credit. Ang cash is an example of an asset accounts, di ba? Okay, number 8, light and water ang tawag doon. So, kapag nagbayad ka ng electricity bills mo, light and water ang accounting, ang account title nun. And kasi since nagbawas ka naman ng asset mo in a form of cash, magiging credit siya. Tama? And then, number 9 is your drawings. Ayan, naglabas ka na naman ng cash mo, magiging credit na naman siya. And then, your debit mo is drawing account or owner's drawing. Okay? And then, number 10, yung accounts payable mo. And then, nagbayad ka ng utang mo, syempre, mababawasan yung cash mo, magiging credit siya. And then, your debit is your accounts payable. Diba? Sabi nga natin, dun sa liability account, kapag mag-increase ka ng utang mo, dun ilagay mo siya sa credit. Kapag nag-decrease ka na ng utang mo, ilagay mo siya sa debit. O, dito na nangyari. Number 10, nilagay na natin yung accounts payable. dun sa debit kasi nag-decrease ka na ng utang mo. And then, kapag nag-decrease ka naman ng cash mo, ilalagay mo siya sa credit. Ayan. I hope na naiintindihan niyo yung examples natin under sa rules of debit and credit. So, if you have any questions, kapag hindi nyo naiintindihan yung lesson, mag-message lang kayo sa akin. Okay? Now, let's go to the accounting cycle. So, ano ba yung accounting cycle natin? So, una dyan, i-analyze natin yung transaction. So, ito, mag-analyze tayo ng transaction, babasahin natin yung transaction gaya ng ginawa natin kanina, di ba? And then, i-journalize natin yan. So, papag-aralan natin yan sa susunod. Journalize the data. So, saan mo ba ilalagay? Debit ba or credit ba? Ano ba yung transaction na to? Ano ba yung mga account titles na do? Ano ba yung amount na involved dito? Diba? And then, ipopost mo sa data. Ayan. Gagawa tayo ng general ledger, and then gagawa tayo ng let's prepare worksheet, and gagawa tayo ng magpre-prepare tayo ng financial statements, and then kung may mga adjusting entries tayo, gawa natin magre-record tayo ng adjusting entries. And also, i-close na natin yung adjusting entries, and then magpe-prepare ulit tayo ng post-closing trial balance. Okay? And then kapag natapos na natin yung trial balance, ayan, i-interpret na natin yung financial information. Sabi nga natin kanina, walang silbi yung financial statement mo or financial information mo kung hindi mo siya na-interpret. Okay? So, kailangan natin i-interpret yung financial statements natin or financial information natin para makagawa tayo ng decisions para sa business. Magandang decision para sa business. Okay? Okay, that ends our discussion. So, ang next na itatakal natin or topic natin is about the books of accounting. Okay? Ano ba yung mga books of accounting? So, papag-aralan natin ang general journal and general ledger. So, that ends our discussion. Sabi ko nga kanina, kapag may questions kayo regarding sa lesson, ayan, gaya ng ginagawa ni James Cowis, nagme-message na lang siya sa messenger ko. Ayan. Nagtatanong siya kung ano ba yung lesson natin, paano ba yung transaction na yon. Ayan. So, magtanong lang kayo. Okay? Pag hindi nyo naintindihan. Okay? Now, let's go to your requirements. Ano ba yung requirements ninyo? Okay, sa activity 1, state the value received and value parted with on the following transaction. So, sabihin nyo lang, yan, receive initial investment from the owner. So, meaning, naka-receive siya ng money. And then, ano yung kapalit nun? Ano yung binigay ni business kapalit nun? So, sino magbabayad nun? Okay? Ayan, purchase, supplies, and credit. So, madali lang yan. So, nag-purchase ka, ano yung na-receive mo? So, on credit, ano ba yung ilalagay mo dyan? Okay? So, gaya dun sa example natin sa lesson natin. Okay, instruction, using the answer sheet below, write the accounts and amounts to be debited and credited. So, ano ba yung i-debit mo, ano ba yung account title, and then yung amount. Okay? Gawin natin yung number 1. So, si Baa opened a computer repair shop by investing 200,000 to the business. Ayan. Ano ba yung i-debit mo? Nag-invest siya ng business. So, nakatanggap yung business ng 200,000. So, ang tawag doon is cash. Ayan, yung account mo, ikilalagay mo yan cash, and then amount 200,000, and then, ano pa ba yung transaction na na-affect, account title na gagamitin mo, syempre naka-receive din yung capital mo, di ba? Ang nilalagay mo dito, 200,000. Okay? So, yun yung activity number 2 ninyo. And then, sa activity number 3, using the answer sheet below, write the accounts and amount. Ayan, parehas din yan. Parehas lang pala. Okay? So, kung may question kayo dito sa requirements ninyo, mag-PM lang kayo sa akin. Okay? Or mag-message kayo sa GC natin. Okay? So, that ends our discussion. I hope that this video lecture enlighten more your mind na naintindihan itong lesson 9 natin. Okay? So, be safe. Keep safe always. Ayan. Bye-bye. Have a good day.